I think it's time we talked about the Bulls and Pat Beverley. I do. Didn't want to do it. Didn't think it would amount to much. And over time, we're seeing that the Bulls are better with Pat Bev. So we talked about him this season. The only reason we talked about him is because he was the worst player in the NBA in terms of plus minus. I think he had the lowest offensive rating in the league. So we talked about that. We made fun of it. He barely played after that. The Lakers moved on from him. You know how that went. We knew that meant he was getting traded at the deadline. That meant he was probably going to get bought out because he was making like $10 million from whoever was going to take his contract on. So Orlando Magic, full circle, said, no, Patrick Beverley is not a player that we want on our roster with this young developing team. They buy him out. So then he signed with the Bulls, but it didn't happen right away. Took a little time. I think it took like 10 days. A lot of people thought the Bulls were going to dismantle their roster, get rid of Vooch, get rid of DeRozan, get rid of LaVine, get rid of Caruso potentially. There were multiple rumors about them just shutting it all down. So then the deadline came, the deadline went, and what did? They acquired Pat Bev. Everyone was clowning the move. Why'd they do it? This doesn't make any sense. And now Patrick Beverley continuing just to show us why we're all wrong. In 15 games that Pat Bev has played as a Bull this year, here are his stats. They're not great. Let me just preface it by saying they're not some sort of all. You're not going to see like he's averaging 17, 7, and 5. That's not where we're going, but he's been impactful. 6, 6, and 4 with 1.5 steals and blocks per game in 30 minutes of playing time. Plus 69 in his time with the Bulls. The Bulls were 10 and 5 when he's played. In those 15 games, they're 10 and 5. They were 7 and 9 leading up to the trade deadline. That is so impactful. They're currently in 10th place, 3 games ahead of the Pacers for the final play-in spot, 1 half game out of the 8th place, which would give them 2 chances to make the playoffs. This could be the biggest turnaround in the NBA since the trade deadline, which makes Pat Bev potentially the most impactful player at said trade deadline, which is absurd to say, but it actually could be true. A lot of it is about Pat Beverley. All of his teammates have embraced him. People are now reevaluating Pat Bev's time with the Lakers, and they're saying maybe it wasn't Pat Bev. Maybe it was the Lakers. So they asked Pat Bev, what happened? What was going on with the Lakers? And he said, well, yeah, if I'm a spoon, Billy Donovan is using me as a spoon. The Lakers, I was a spoon, and they used me as a fork. So, basically, Darvin Ham is trash. That's basically it. If you don't know how to use Pat Beverley when every place that Pat Beverley has gone has made the playoffs and he's been impactful in some way, then it's you, sir. You are the problem. Pat Beverley did the same thing to the Wolves. Every team that he's been playing for, he's brought defensive intensity. Clippers, Houston Rockets, confident swag, a level of annoyance that gets opposing star talent to just get technicals, be irritated, get into fights. Case in point, his revenge game against the Lakers. Did you see this? He had 10 points, 5 assists, easy Bulls win, which is very important. He wanted to knock the Lakers out of the playoffs. He said that. He had an IG post. He said, I am coming to LA. Get your cameras out. And then had a full Charmin, packet of Charmin in his car, meaning the Lakers are Charmin soft. The shit talking, unbelievable. Scored on LeBron James in this game and gave him the too small gesture. He gave the too small gesture to LeBron James. Beverley said, yeah, I do it to everybody. This is just what I do. I have fun. I was getting lost in the game. I'm having fun, man. We're not construction workers. We're not guys that have to give up at 4 a.m. We're professional basketball players. It's about having fun. That's what we try to do tonight. That's what I try to do tonight. And also, he tried to knock the Lakers out of fucking playoffs because they did him wrong. And that, folks, is Pat Bev in a nutshell. He lightens the mood. He brings the intensity. He gets soft players to be tough players. Him and Alex Caruso together are tremendous. And you know what he always does? Every single time, he always makes the playoffs. Every time. This Bulls team, to me, is a sneaky, dangerous team. They're not going anywhere in the playoffs, but they will be very annoying. They play the Boston Celtics. The Boston Celtics are going to get their hands full of Pat Bev in Jason Tatum's face, in Jaylen Brown's face. And remember, Jaylen Brown has that mask. So who knows what's going to happen there? Remember, he broke Devin Booker's nose in the playoffs. I'm just saying, watch your face, watch your butt around Pat Beverley, because Boston's already lost twice to the Bulls this year by 14 and 18 points, and that was before Pat Beverley got there. I love that he saved the season for Chicago. That's his hometown, which I think is impactful. If he manages to win a first-round series, you saw what he did with the Timberwolves when they won a play-in game. Just imagine what he will do if he wins a playoff series. And that, to me, is good for the NBA.